Over the course of your time in the United States, someone will die. Your neighbor, your neighbor's relative, or maybe the relative of a coworker. What should you do? What should you say? In every culture, the etiquette around death is different. And because death is a serious thing, you don't want to make mistakes. In the past, I have written several blog posts about death and dying, and you can reference them in the notes to this segment on our website. Today, I'd like to take a closer look at the obituary, or death notice, which will appear online or in your local newspaper. This will give you much valuable information about the person you knew or his or her loved one. The following death notice appeared in my hometown newspaper and was emailed to me by my sister, who still lives in the area. The man who died was the father of our high school classmates. I've changed the names to keep their privacy, but the rest of the notice is a good typical example of an American obituary. From this obituary, we can learn the following information. First, the name of the deceased person. The last name, the title is optional, the first name, and the middle initial. Next is the city of residence at this person's death. Then comes the date of death. This is followed by the name of Richard's widow. The length of marriage is optional. Then we see the names of Richard's children. The names of the spouses of those children are in parentheses. Next comes the number of grandchildren. Their names are optional. Then we may see the name of a beloved special friend. Note here, many Americans consider pets as members of the family, but mentioning his cat is a little unusual in an obituary. Next, we see Richard's status as a military veteran. Then we see his educational status, and this is followed by his career employment. Next, we see Richard's community service. Two notes here: many Americans do volunteer community work in their spare time. Also, this is the second mention of Richard's special commitment to animals. After this, we see the 2-hour time period we can publicly visit with the surviving family members. Note that this is often the afternoon or evening before the funeral takes place. Then we see the time of the funeral service. This is followed by the location of the funeral service. Next, the obituary may list a charity we may make a donation to in the name of the deceased person. Note, because Americans are often practical people, obituaries sometimes tell you to skip buying flowers and instead just send money to a charity. You may do one or both, according to your wishes. Finally, we can see the website of the funeral home. Note, nowadays you can write a kind note about how you knew the deceased person and post it on the funeral home website. It's considered more personal to send the family a handwritten note or card in the mail. If you have more questions about American culture or etiquette, contact us here at Feel Like You Belong. Sure. So were you taking ESL classes at the time?
Yes, I was taking English for